Dear Sweet Teeth, did you really think that you had that kind of power to put Dr. Heavenly out of a scene? Yeah, right.
And how the hell did she make it through security? I don't want to act no fool. This is my day. Just stay focused on your happiness.
What's going on, heavy hitters? Welcome back over here, y'all. Over here, we do a little bit of everything. Pretty much that catches my attention. Hopefully, it does yours as well. We do a little bit of read, rants, and reviews for hot topics, as well as for anything in the Bravo franchise, which is really where my heart is. So I like to review that information. So, y'all come on back. Let's have this heavy conversation for Married to Medicine, Season 10, Episode 4. Because, baby, this show, unlike Potomac, is giving. All right, people, so we start off the episode with a montage of a couple of conversations, one with Dr. Jackie calling patients, and the other with Dr. Simone and Cecil calling Toya. Somehow the conversation starts off with Dr. G talking about his pants, so clearly Dr. Eugene has told Toya what has happened at the bachelor party, and they are sharing that information. Baby, he is something sexy. Anyway, sorry, I'm back. Somebody walking past the car. Dr. Alicia, the new girl, and her husband are talking about the events that happened at the pamper party. Baby, that woman is funny. Can we get introduced to this woman already? Can we please find out the backstory with Dr. Alicia? We're 4 episodes in, and she's just there. She is a seat filler. Can we find out who Dr. Alicia is, please? We move over to Phaedra, as she is receiving company from Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Jackie, and she opens the door. The dog runs out. Jackie does not like dogs. Dr. Heavenly lets her know. Phaedra's like, well, it's not like he's Cujo. You know, perhaps he is in heat, so he could be giving her what she's missing. Phaedra, you don't know them people like that. You go for the people that's a little lower, less on the totem pole. Don't come for the queen, Dr. Jackie, nor Heavenly. Oh, that was kind of cute. Dr. Jackie is like, okay, well, I'll come on in. Heavenly says she's going to take off her shoes. And in doing so, Dr. Jackie is like, you got some socks. You got these dogs running in and out of your house. Ain't no telling what they tracking through your floors. Dr. Jackie is a germaphobe, but she's a physician, so they usually are more cautious of germs and things of that nature. While they are sitting there waiting for the socks, because Phaedra says, would you like some bedroom shoes? Bedroom shoes, another way for saying house shoes. Okay, girl. Hey, when you got money, I guess there's just different verbiage that you utilize to say things like socks, house shoes, or some slides. Child, rich people problems, huh? House shoes, flip-flop slides. Would you like some bedroom shoes? Girl, Phaedra, where's the butler? Where's Benji? Why didn't Benji receive your company? While the ladies are waiting on Phaedra to bring the bedroom shoes, aka slides, they are looking at her decor, and they have some commentary about, is this new world chic or old country favor or whatever, and Dr. Jack is like, oh, it's unique. In other words, Phaedra has a unique sense of style when it comes to her decor. I like Phaedra's house. It's reminiscent of who she is at this moment. Gaudy, busy, over the top. City girl chic. Dr. Jackie wastes no time as they move into the kitchen. Girl, why did you invite Quad to the pamper party? Phaedra lets her know, baby, look, y'all have been talking about this woman, so I'm just going to do what needs to be done in order to liven this scene. She didn't say that, of course, I'm paraphrasing. She says, you guys have been asking, so I'm just going to bring her. You've been asking about it. Let's solidify her placement in this friend group. In essence, it was rumored that Quad probably wasn't going to be coming back, and the fact that they were going to try to bring back Dr. G and his new fiance, Sweet Teeth, they had to have some type of combative camaraderie, if that's an actual term, where they were probably hoping to have some type of combative scenes with Sweet Teeth and Quad, but Quad is an adult. She's going to play the game, and they wanted to make it interesting, and it has been, honestly, because let's be real. Pause me, please. Sweet Teeth and annoying leprechaun Dr. G really have made this season because it's been all about them. The OGs and the vets, y'all not really. But of course, you bring in a new dynamic such as Sweet Teeth and Dr. G, you're going to kind of build the first part of the season off of them and their engagement and their wedding. That's to be expected. Well, Phaedra does what she does. She explains her way out of a situation, or so she thinks. Like Heavenly says, girl, ain't no truth in the woman, none. But Phaedra does what Phaedra does, wiggle her way out, as she typically does, thinking she's sounding intelligent and kind of eloquently explaining her way out of a situation. But most people who have the intellect that matches hers or exceeds hers pretty much know what she's doing. Or people with two eyes. the heifer line. They start discussing even more that there's 24 hours before the wedding and whether any particular concerns. Heavenly. Baby, those are two grown people. They're going to get married regardless if they should not, if you don't think they should, or if anyone else has any ill feelings. Girl, them people are getting married. One, because she stalked that man, so she has to make sure that she gets that ring. She has to make sure that she secures the bag. Dr. G is 24 years older than her, and in this episode, we learned that he is older than her mama and daddy. Girl, what? I digress. We'll get into that a little bit later on. Anyway, they discuss their concerns and move on. Cecil and Simone are having a conversation with their older son, 24. Is he Miles? Is Miles the oldest one? Miles has beautiful teeth. He has a beautiful smile. He's a handsome young man. Hopefully he gets it together. But I think, in my personal opinion, the caveat with Miles, if that's the 24-year-old, is there's this push or there is this brick wall that he sits in between, which is Cecil and Simone. Cecil is this laid back, chill kind of guy who ain't got none of his own money, allegedly. I'm sure he does. And then you have Dr. Simone, who is this stern, driven, structured woman who is the money. Let's be clear. Dr. Simone is the breadwinner, not only because of her profession, but now because of the fact that she is on this show and has been for 10 seasons. As they say, within 4 to 5 seasons, you make an okay salary, but after that, you are making the big money, the big 6 figures. So she is clearly the double breadwinner, and he's just coasting. You know, initially in the first seasons, he was in corporate America, and then he lost some money or tried to create an app or something with their money, and they weren't. That's kind of where Dr. Simone and Cecil kind of were butting heads, and where they were leading towards a divorce, besides him having that female friend that didn't understand boundaries. Anyway, but let's get back to the episode. I'm going off on a tangent, but luckily you're here to hear what I got to say, so we're going to go off on a tangent together. While we're here together, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Head on over to my social media, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram, and look for Heavy Hitter Media. Anyway, so they're having a conversation. They want to know what the little baby Miles is going to do. He's in his 5th year of college. He was going to take some summer courses, but he listened to a wise man, i.e. his broke-ass daddy, who sits in the man cave in the basement and makes drinks all day. Or at least that's what they lead us to believe. Because we think he's a realtor. If he was a realtor, wouldn't they celebrate his sales? Or, typically annually realtors have a goal, or they've met this maximum of sales that they celebrate. You don't never hear that shit. Dr. Cecil is a bum. Dr. Cecil is a kept man. Yeah, allegedly. Anyway, young dude is like, look, girl, mama, stop tripping. I got this. Daddy said I can do what I want to do, and you just gonna have to deal with it. And mama reinforces the fact that this is my money. You got one more year, young man, and that's a wrap. He's like, for school or for good? For good. Now, the interesting part about this is I see both sides for Miles, the mom and dad, and Simone, right, specifically. Because I understand where Cecil is like generational wealth. Why are we so against that? Well, for one, Cecil, generational wealth should be coming from both parents. And from what we're seeing, and that's all that we can comment off of, is what we're seeing, is that the generational wealth isn't dual. It's not a duality. It is Simone. Simone is the breadwinner. So as she said later on, I want to retire, but I can't because I keep having to pay for stuff. And the more they stay in school, the more she has to pay for stuff. And she is not saying we have to pay for stuff. She is saying she, meaning solely, she is responsible for this because, again, Cecil is a fucking bum. But you want to give advice about generational wealth that you should take your time. Now, as Simone stated, that's kind of how he grew up. So he's just doing what he knows. They come to an agreement. Basically, Simone puts her foot down and we move on. We get over to Dr. G and Sweet Teeth. It's the day before the wedding, and they're having this bonding moment of walking or going to the venue where they have to drop this additional $14,000 that somehow Johnny in his too tight ass suit at the wedding has only told them the day before the wedding. Baby, y'all ain't learned y'all lesson listening and letting Phaedra plan stuff for y'all? Ain't no way in hell somebody gonna tell me. Pause me, please. I'm going to do another video, which is Dr. Heavenly's review of this most recent episode, along with Carlos King. For the people that know me, y'all know I'm not a Carlos King fan. His voice is extremely annoying. However, he and her together are kind of entertaining, and she explains a lot of stuff about Sweet Teeth and Dr. Leprechaun G that we did not know. It's worthy of another video. Getting back to this. There's no way in hell that your wedding planner should have dropped on you that type of a bomb. However, Dr. G says, you're my wife and I want you to have the wedding that you're supposed to have because I love you. You know what? I like Dr. G and Sweet Teeth together. I have to be honest. I like the way that he makes her happy, as it appears. However, in what Heavenly says, she drops some bombshells. I like how she makes him happy, regardless of how she got into his DMs and got the man. She got the man. She's clearly giving him what he wants at the moment in order to make him happy. What does, girl, what's that weird built man name? Andrew Caldwell. What does he say? Who are me? Who are me to judge? They're happy with it at the moment. After having this discussion, Dr. G, the leprechaun, asked Sweet Teeth, well, babe, how are you? How are you feeling? She says, of course, I'm overwhelmed with the wedding, but I'm glad when this will be over. The money thing was totally unexpected. And I feel a certain way that Phaedra invited Quad to the pamper party. They discussed that information. We get ready to go into the wedding rehearsal. While going into the wedding rehearsal, there's a split screen. We see Sweet Teeth seeing them good old Texas people, baby. That's my people, baby. That's my people. Come on, Texans. And then Dr. G, the leprechaun, breaks off to call Phaedra as if he's checking her. And, of course, Phaedra met the energy that he gave. His concerns are valid, like, Phaedra, I knew you first. We're friends. Why would you do that? She explains what she explains. He tries to put his foot down, and she's like, there will not be a next time because it's handled. Good. We get over to Sweet Teeth's family. We understand that initially, again, Dr. G is 5 years older than her mother, meaning that he's... Damn. 5 years older than your mama. The mama was not initially happy until she found out that Dr. G had some money. I got a little access to the money. This nine. Baby, they groomed that woman for that. That's why she like old men. She got daddy issues, and they groomed her to be taken care of and provided. I don't care about anybody coming up under these comments and she got her own money. A lot of gold diggers have their own money. They just want yours and theirs. Yeah, that's how that works. Gold diggers have goals. They have long-term and short-term goals, and they can have their own money, but they also want yours. She talks about the conversations that she had with her mom in order to get them to like Greg, Then we go over to the daddy. The daddy was all good for it because, that's a good one. That's a good one. Because he's a doctor. She refers to, was this in the wedding or at this moment from the... Yeah, I think it was there at the wedding rehearsal. To my daddy, he was okay because it was like back in the old days where you traded your girl child for a cow. Didn't I just say she was groomed for this? Yeah, they still grooming it. Even in this era, they still grooming young girls to go date old men because she said she wasn't tripping because she had been dating old men. Well, if you've been dating old men, Sweet Teeth, why in the hell are you in a support group for dating old people? Are y'all talking about how you plot to get them? I'm with the other ladies. Is this the sugar baby group? Girl, where's the gay sugar baby group? I'll be a sugar baby. Shit, I'll be your baby. I'm your baby tonight. Whatever. I'll be a fat, juicy, chocolate, dread-headed sugar baby. Run me to the group. We now go back through another additional quick little montage of conversations. Phaedra's having a conversation with her son. Toya is celebrating her birthday. The children cook breakfast, and they take it into this small bedroom. Toya, that couldn't have been you in Eugene's bedroom. Maybe you were just in the spare room for filming because you didn't want to film in the main bedroom, but that room was too small to be the primary suite for a home of that magnitude. Speaking of, Let's look at the doorways of their home as they're getting this Christmas tree. A doorway to that home would not have a primary suite that was that small as to what we saw in their show. Something about that wasn't right. Okay, we get over to Sweet Teeth. We have some wedding prep. We have some bride prep. We see Sweet Teeth enjoying her family, dancing, having a good time, dropping like she got bad knees, fighting to get back up. We know she ain't got knees like Megan. Knees like Megan. She don't, y'all saw how she was bouncing and drop down. Okay, I told you this part a little too earlier. This is where the conversation happens with her mom being older, not initially happy, and the father, all that I told you earlier. I gave you a little, I gave you those nuggets earlier. We have montages between individuals, Simone and Cecil, Eugene, Toya, Heavenly, and Daddy Damon. We get over to Heavenly, and Heavenly saying, hey, I texted Sweet Tea just to make sure everything was going well, and she didn't get a response. Don't. Well, Heavenly, the matron of honor, the homegirl that was sitting at the party, has told her all the things that you have had to say. You know what I found interesting is that she has this wedding party with all these people who weren't at the pamper party. That's why I said in my review last week that this show is so hilarious and is good, but it's also fake, because that was not her real bachelorette party. Because where were your friends? Where were your family members? Where were those individuals other than your castmates? Y'all, anyway, before we start talking about the wedding and all, before we get into that, am I the only one who found it odd? Or I've never been married, but when the leprechaun Dr. G checked into the Hilton and he went into the suite by himself, like, where was your wedding party? What? Somebody help me out with that. Who's been married? Does the groom go off to himself to kind of gather himself? Or isn't he normally with the boys and his fellas and they're all, doing what she's doing on her side, but more on a masculine level because, they got to be dudes and can't express themselves. This toxic masculinity bullshit. Moving into the wedding, we see Dr. Cone. Let me not do that because I hate it when Heavenly said that. And I hate it when some bloggers said that. We saw Dr. Contessa and Scott, still such a beautiful couple. We've seen them celebrating purchasing their practice. So congratulations to them. All of the castmates and their husbands and or friends and or guests, whatever you want to call it, are starting to be seated. Phaedra sits down and Dr. Simone makes a joke about Dr. Simone or Dr. Jackie make a joke about what Phaedra has on, because she's like, girl, you are not the bride. And she's like, I'm always the bride. She has this beautiful, overly exaggerated dress. And if it's coming from Simone, I understand, because Simone didn't have any fashion sense. So Phaedra is over the top. She believes in being grand. She likes to dress like that. So of course, from somebody like Simone, she doesn't understand this supposed beautiful wedding. It was all right. Mind you, the entire time that we're at the wedding and we're seeing prep and we're seeing Johnny and the wedding planner and the wedding parties and the guests, and Heavenly and Dr. Damon Daddy are on their way in the truck just to be turned around. They get there. They meet up with Toya, right? Toya and Eugene and Heavenly and Dr. Damon Daddy, they all get there at the same time. Heavenly, they're a little bit ahead. So we go through this list of trying to figure out where our names are and how they are not. Toya's like, wait, your name isn't on the list? Why isn't your name on the list? I honestly think Toya was genuinely confused, not like she knew. I think that was Sweet Teeth's gotcha. Toya may have said, look, girl, if it was me, I'd have her take it off. Probably not thinking Sweet Teeth would actually have the nerve to try and do it, because you heard me say try. Dame was like, well, I'm not on the list, let's just go. And he was like, that's the BS, and I can't believe. And she's like, we're not gonna make a scene. So they called Johnny, who was the guy that sued Candy for unpaid wages. They quote unquote allegedly settled out of court. I don't know. But this was the same dude that tried to say they stole the OLG idea from him. This ain't about that. This is not Real Housewives of Atlanta. We get a confessional, and Sweet Teeth is like, oh, I had her removed because my matron of honor told me that, what she said, and I just had her removed. Well, we understand that she tried to get Phaedra removed too, but Phaedra, being the boss that she is, and how Dr. G apparently was so dependent on Phaedra, because you got Phaedra, to get Johnny, I'm sure, because of all the people you could have found, I'm sure you didn't find Johnny. Phaedra found him because she knows him. I don't think you would have gone. I don't think y'all look at what you look at the. Y'all look at the wedding. The wedding is on a level of what Johnny, from what we see, probably would put on. He's incompetent. And then Phaedra, quote unquote, got the pastor. So she had told him, when they told her she had to leave, oh, if I'm leaving, so is the pastor. So there won't be a wedding. So they let her stay. Well, as Toya comes in, of course, the wedding is starting. And Toya's letting everybody know, girl, Dr. Heavenly can't get in. Her name's not on the list. So it's playing telephone. Heavenly can't get in. Heavenly can't get in. Simone, that is so hilarious. Heavenly can't get in. Now, I'm feeling bad for Dr. Damon Daddy because he's friends with G. And I'm sure the leprechaun did not know that Sweet Teeth has taken off his homeboy, because that man would have had a fit, I'm sure, with all the money that he is letting everybody know that he spent to make this wedding happen. Well, dun dun dun. Heavenly is being shown being escorted into the wedding. Let me tell y'all, let me tell you, y'all can think whatever you want. Hold on, let me lean in so we can have this heavy conversation. When I tell you, you can think what you want to think, but Dr. Heavenly is a boss. And she understands the game of this show, because she was leaving and production went and got her and brought her into this scene and said, oh, we can't have this scene without you. Not that this woman can't have her wedding without you. We can't have this scene without you. Production clearly pays some money for that wedding. Because ain't no way in hell I done had somebody escorted or removed from a list and you gonna tell me they have to be in my wedding. Excuse me, Pastor. What are they doing here? No, Thank y'all so much for coming. Sorry, but based on what we've experienced between you two, or more so you're gonna have to leave. Okay, Pastor, let's get started. I'm sorry, they haven't left yet. What's happening? What's happening here? Why aren't they gone? Yeah, see, that's what it would have happened with my ignorant ass. Like I said, Dr. Heavenly is the boss because production went and got her because they know she's going to help make this scene. Dr. Heavenly is pivotal to introducing confusion to the show. They love her. Am I the only one who noticed? I'm telling you, when I drop this video about her talking about this wedding, you're going to see what I'm saying. The empty seats. So why are you pushing people out for stuff that you paid for? Girl, let the folks up on them here. Girl, please. Don't give a damn about what they got to say about y'all. Y'all getting married. Who cares? It is so funny to hear all the people, well, I won't say all, but a lot of people making jokes about Quad coming to the wedding, Scott and Contessa, Heavenly, some of the other guests, some of the other cast members. While they're making jokes, they put in this filler scene for Quad, because, you know, Quad has to get paid for working on that particular episode. And they say, hey, Quad, today is Dr. G, the leprechaun's wedding. How are you feeling? Oh, it's a wedding today. I didn't get an invitation. And she jumps into the bubble bath. Girl, y'all just do anything. Married to Medicine, I love you because y'all are just so lighthearted and so entertaining. Unlike Potomac, which is so dark. Oh, we have gone from colorism to dark magic. Speaking of, check out my other preview for The Real Housewives of Potomac. Wedding is now over, really, really quick, which Dr. Heavenly makes mention of. Dr. G and Sweet Teeth talk to one another, say they're going to be the best husband and wife to one another. Funny, Sweet Teeth, I'm going to be the best wife you've ever had. And I think so. I really think Dr. G and Sweet Teeth really love one another. Right now, things are really, really good. Although there are some concerning things. She clearly said there are some things that she's concerned about. And baby, she must have really shared a lot of stuff with Heavenly, as we'll talk about when I drop the other video. They move over to the reception for the wedding, and it's interesting because they're now asking Dr. Heavenly what happened, and she's like, girl, I don't know. She need to be mad at Phaedra. Phaedra's the one who brought Quad. Why is she so upset with me? Well, Heavenly, she can't really be mad at Phaedra because, one, that's Dr. G's friend. Two, she brought the pastor. And three, she's a fan of Quad. We saw how she, sit by me, sit by me. It's interesting, during the reception, they do a flashback of Toya and Eugene's wedding. I didn't really understand that. They were talking about cost analysis and somehow they came up. I don't know. While at the wedding, we do the National Black Anthem, which is a dance, the electric slide. Everybody's on the floor at this time. Heavenly takes the opportunity to speak to Sweet Teeth. Dr. Heavenly, you know good and goddamn well that woman had you put off that list. Let her have a moment. Y'all can talk about this shit later. She says, I'm mad at you, Heavenly, She's like, girl, for what? Why didn't do nothing? Dr. Heavenly, you did. You said those things, although valid to you. You know, you have the right to say what you want to say, but there are consequences. Her friend told her, clearly that's really one of her friends, and she tried to remove you, and production let her know she don't got that kind of power. Production said, bitch, please. This ain't your shit. This our shit. And she's coming into your wedding, fool. All right, y'all. So that's the wedding, and then the wedding ends, and child, we go into next week's episode. So it should be pretty interesting. I am really enjoying Married to Medicine. This is giving me what I needed. This is giving me, as much as I love Real Housewives of Atlanta, this gives me what I'm missing from them. Oh, RHOA. I hope y'all get it together. I hope y'all, Housewives of Atlanta, I hope y'all get it together. Y'all be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And until the next time, y'all be easy. Peace.